Siberius, and we about to get serious. It's the real Siberius, making fanboys furious.
Hello, YouTube, and welcome to The Real Siberius. On this episode, I actually want to talk about Jordan's greatness is even better than we think it is. I have to give a shout out to Uncommon Sense because I was listening to one of his videos earlier today, and he's the one that gave me the idea for this. In his video, he was talking about Jordan's skill was ahead of his time, and it's still ahead of this time. And that really got me thinking. And the conclusion that I came to is, even in this weaker, softer era with all of this open space and lack of defense, no one has been able to perform at Jordan's level, despite the fact that the game is so much easier. And then you hear people say that the players today are bigger, stronger, faster, and more skilled. Well, how the fuck is that possible when somebody who hasn't played in going on 24 years, no one has surpassed? How's that possible? And when you watch Jordan play, it just makes perfect sense. I've never seen another player as fundamentally sound as Jordan is. Or I should say was, since he doesn't play anymore. I've never seen it. I've never even seen anyone that's close to Jordan. Kobe was the closest, and as much as I hate to say it, there's still a mile between them. When you look at especially Jordan's footwork, it was masterful on both offense and defense. He never looked off balance. He was never off center. He always looked like he was in complete control of his body, with the ability to either go left or right, forward or back, without any hesitation, because he was always set up to perform his next action. And you just don't see that now. I think it's one of the reasons why I take such offense to it when people say that LeBron is the greatest player of all time, because I don't care how devout of a LeBron stan you are, you cannot watch his game and think that he's doing it at the highest level that's ever been done. Especially not in year 23. In year 23, he looks like a lumbering Hulk that has absolutely no finesse, because now as his athleticism has started to fade, there's no skill there. There are no fundamentals there. If you look at Jordan in his year 40 on the Wizards, his athleticism was also diminishing. He didn't have the springiness anymore. He didn't have the quick twitch motion. So he had to rely entirely on his fundamentals, which just made other players look bad. How many younger players have, been interviewed talking about how they got cooked by Jordan at 38 to 40 years old? I can't remember the last time LeBron cooked anyone. It's at least over 10 years ago. I don't know if there will ever be a player that's as fundamentally sound as Jordan is or was. The simplicity of movement, the economy of movement. He never had to dribble the air out of the ball. He never had to take 12 gather steps to get to where he wanted. He was always set to perform the next task. Whether it be a block, a steal, a mid-range jumper, a three-point shot, it didn't matter. He was always prepared for the next action. And I'm curious if any of you can think of another player that can do all of those things at the same level of Jordan. I'd love to hear it. There may be a player that can perform one of those actions better than Jordan, but not all of them. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about one person that, has a better cross step or has a better 3-point shot. I'm talking about fundamentally across the board, consistently performed at a higher level than Jordan. Because I've genuinely been thinking about this all day in preparation for making this video. I can't even think of anybody else that's close. Kobe is the next closest, and I still think there's a mile between them, as I said. I'd be genuinely curious to hear what anybody else thinks. I mean, am I delusional? Am I drowning in nostalgia and misremembering? I don't think so, because quite frankly, I go back and I watch old NBA far more frequently than I watch modern NBA. So it's not something that I'm misremembering, because quite frankly, it's still fresh in my mind because I still watch it to this day. So I don't watch a lot of modern NBA. So maybe you guys are familiar with somebody that I'm not familiar with. But I know it's not SGA. I know it's not Jokic. If there is somebody, I don't know who they are. So I'd be curious to hear of anyone that you guys can think of, mainly because I'd be interested in checking them out. I would love to see somebody that could perform at that level. I just simply don't think that they exist. But I would love to be proven wrong. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you made it to the end, I certainly appreciate it. As always, I want to shout out the content creators that continue to inspire me to do this. Uncommon Sense, Angry Old Hoops, Self-Researched NBA Facts, 93Z, Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncut Hoops, Scap Attack, Speam Engine, In Your Face Hoops, Eddie TV, King Speech Road, Goatcast Hoops. I always appreciate your guys' takes, your perspectives, and your humor. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.